Welcome to Challenged Athletes Live. My name is Bob Babbitt, and our guest is the captain of the U.S. blind hockey team, Mr. Tim Kane. Tim, how you doing, bud?
Oh, pretty good, Bob. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Tim. So growing up, you found hockey at what age?
I actually wanted to start playing hockey when I was 4, but the local rules didn't let you play if you were that young until you went through a local Parks and Recreation, program where you kind of got a feeling for all the sports. They had you play soccer and basketball and hockey, and so I did it just to kind of go through the motions in all the other sports. And they had you do floor hockey before you were allowed to participate in ice hockey. So I made my way and struggled through the other sports and finally got to the floor hockey, had a blast. So started playing when I was 5 after I went through that program.
Now, did you have other family members who were hockey players?
No, I don't even know if anybody else in my family could skate before I did. People who rollerbladed, and I'm sure my parents went ice skating when they were younger and everything like that. But no, nobody else played hockey before me.
And in terms of your vision, when could you tell that your vision was leaving? And was there a specific point, or was it gradual?
Well, I kind of had an advantage, if you want to call it that. Both of my sisters are legally blind as well. So we all suffer from Stargardt's disease. My oldest sister is actually 6 years older than me, and she started losing her vision when she was 11 or 12. She was in middle school or very early junior high. And so she was the one that had to go through all of the troubles as far as, pretty much being the only person in our school system that any of the teachers knew that ever had a visual impairment. So she was the one that really went through the struggles as far as that went. And once they found out what she had, they started looking for it in my other sister and myself. So I knew it was going to happen. I started showing early signs when I was 3, as far as, an ophthalmologist actually looking and checking out my eyes on an annual basis. Once I was 10 or 11, I started going annually. And then I did do some genetic testing at University of Michigan and found out that I was positive for the faulty gene. And then when I was my freshman year of high school was when I started to notice it. First semester, freshman year, I vividly remember sitting in the back of my global studies class and could read the board perfectly fine. And by the time we got back from Thanksgiving going into that second semester after Christmas break, I was in the front row and still couldn't read the board.
Wow, it happened that quickly.
Yeah, so I remember freshman year being able to do all that, and by the time baseball season started in late February, early March, I was already in glasses and couldn't pick up a fly ball, or ground ball from third base, and you're only 90 feet away. So yeah, it was a quick transition. It went, my vision went from 20/20 to 20/40 over the course of about a month to 6 weeks, and then from there, the next 2.5 months, I was legally blind.
Playing hockey, you were able to play still all the way through high school, even with diminished vision.
Yeah. Finished out my high school career in hockey and even played a year of club hockey at Ferris State. It's kind of a blessing in disguise because I don't really notice my vision loss on the ice because my vision loss is my central vision.
Right.
So it's what I concentrate on and what you typically use for visual acuity, whereas my peripheral vision is in great shape. And when I'm moving on the ice and the puck is moving around, unless it's directly in my feet, or I now make the mistake of looking directly at my teammate that has the puck, for the most part, I'm able to track it fairly well, and it's really worked out okay for everything in life. You don't really realize how little you use your central vision until you kind of look and you try to read a book. That's a little different story, or you're trying to watch TV with your wife or something like that. And then you make adjustments, but your peripheral is definitely the dominant vision when you're moving around and things are moving around you.
When did you get to the point where you knew you couldn't play anymore in terms of with other folks with vision?
I don't know if I've even hit that point now. You know, I participate in blind hockey, and it's certainly a different game, and it's definitely easier to follow the puck. But I've never been somebody to really let my vision stop me from doing anything. So any chance that I get, whether it's sighted hockey, blind hockey, or you know, even roller hockey outside, I'm not going to steer away from that just because the puck is maybe not ideal for somebody in my situation.
So when did you find out about blind hockey? Because blind hockey in the U.S. has not been around very long.
Correct. I actually found out about it in February of 2018 during the Winter Olympics. My mom sent me an email asking if I had ever followed up with anybody regarding blind hockey. And she cited some article that she read somewhere online, and I, for the life of me, have no idea what she was talking about. But you know, she sent me the text, and so I just kind of rolled with it. And I said, "Oh yeah, I never got a response." And you know, I immediately Googled it and looked it up and got a couple contacts through the International Blind Ice Hockey Federation and USA Hockey, and sent a couple emails and found out that they were holding tryouts for the inaugural U.S. national team in Chicago in April of 2018. And the response basically said, you know, based on your past and your background, we'd love to have you come out and try out for this team. The downside is the registration is tomorrow. So you'd have to get your USA Hockey registration. You'd have to register for the event and, you know, start looking for accommodations because the hotel is pretty booked up. But if you can do it, we'd love to have you there. So I came home and, you know, threw that idea out to my wife, and she kind of looked at me like a deer in the headlights, and she said, "You have a chance to play for Team USA?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Okay, then we're gonna make it work." You know, and we had a 6-month-old at the time. You know, it wasn't a split decision that would have been, you know, easy for me to make on behalf of my family, but my wife took it and rolled with it, and she's been an unbelievable support system throughout the entire.
You go out and try out for the team, and you don't just make the team; you become captain of the team.
Eventually, you know, it was a really surreal experience. Like I said, I had never played blind hockey before that event. That was my first event, and I was, you know, really fortunate to do well and just meet an entire group of people that I never foresaw myself being a part of a group like that, and to meet that many people with that many stories and really all a pretty similar background was really very cool. And then we had a training camp in Utica, New York, in July of 2018. And after that, I was voted by my teammates and coaching staff as the team captain.
So the difference between regular hockey and blind hockey. You brought a puck that when we were out there in Michigan to talk to you, to basically give you your grant, surprise you with your grant. Right. You showed me the puck's huge.
It is.
It's metal.
Yeah, and it is massive, and it is definitely a change from a traditional puck. But the puck is obviously the main difference. You know, I don't have one on me right now, but it's about the size of, you know, a side dish that you would have at a restaurant.
And it's metal. It's a big
it is.
metal.
It's 28 gauge steel, and it's got 8 to 10 ball bearings inside. So obviously it rattles for definitely the lower vision players. They're able to pick it up and find it throughout the ice. The net is a foot shorter to try to encourage shots to stay down.
Right.
So you're not hitting goalies in the head with a pretty heavy puck. And then there's a pass whistle. You have to make a pass in the offensive zone before you can take a shot. That's again, for the goalie's advantage, so that they are aware that a shot could come at any time. But other than that, it's hockey. And if you watch it on YouTube or anything like that, other than maybe hearing the puck, I don't know why you would think it was any sort of different type of game. You might wonder why the goalies are on their knees a little more often. But aside from that, it's hockey as usual.
And the puck has a sound in it, correct? So the athletes can hear it.
The ball bearings are what makes the sound.
Yeah. And the goalies wear blindfolds, so they're totally blind.
Yeah. So based on the different vision classifications, I mean, obviously it goes through International Blind Sports Federation classifiers, but B3s are your higher level vision players. B2s are kind of in the middle, and then B1 is essentially no vision. I think it's less than 1% vision. So you're seeing shades of gray or nothing at all. And to make sure that even if you are at that 1% vision and you classify as a B1, they want you to have the same vision level as the people that haven't had light perception for 20 years.
Gotcha. When did you find out about Challenged Athletes Foundation and apply for a grant?
One of my teammates, actually, Blake Steinicke, applied for the grant in 2018 and received it. I believe he was the first blind hockey player to receive a grant from the foundation, and he told everybody about it. And I had seen it, and I started to fill out the application, and then lo and behold, life got in the way of me kind of completing it. So I just didn't get around to finishing it that first year, and he kind of told us a little bit about it, and I just said, that's something that I need to apply for. I think that would go a long way towards helping the financial aspect of this entire thing, because unfortunately, until we're a Paralympic sport, this blind hockey is going to be player funded. Until we get to that level where our governing body starts to chip in a little bit, it's going to be the players' responsibility to get their own funds to participate. So I figured any little bit would help. So I filled out everything, and it kind of worked out for me.
What are your goals? What are you planning to do? Well, when hockey comes back, hopefully, what are your goals?
The ultimate goal is to participate in the Paralympics and hopefully come home with a medal. Obviously, that's a few years down the road. I think we need 8 countries to be eligible for the Paralympics, and right now we have 2 countries with national teams, being the USA and Canada. Russia started a youth program recently. Finland has been pretty successful in the last 12 to 18 months of getting their program going. The UK has started a program in the last year and a half, and I think Australia is our most recent country that's interested in starting a blind hockey team. So we're getting closer. The kind of rough timeline was to hope to have a kind of a 4 Nations Cup or a World Cup by 2022. Truly encompassing more than just ourselves in Canada, maybe a Team Europe, maybe something along those lines. In 2021, 2022, if we can have a World Cup type tournament, hopefully that would put us on track to participate in the Paralympics in 2026.
Your voice cut out there just for a second.
Sorry.
So with the grant, we came out there, we met in Michigan, came out to the rink and gave you your oversized check, which was great because you could read that, right? The oversized.
Absolutely. It's one of the first checks I've ever been able to read without having to hold it right next to my face.
Did that on ice, which was really awesome. And I was telling a buddy of mine about you and about what you've been up to, and he's a big hockey fan. Mm-hmm. And he actually sent along a little video that he wanted me to share with you.
Okay.
So there's a button on your computer there somewhere where you can watch this little video.
Hi, Tim. My name is Dallas Eakins, and I'm the head coach of the Anaheim Ducks. I wanted to congratulate you on your Challenged Athletes Fund grant. It is greatly deserved. Your story is inspiring, and it will inspire many going forward. I hope you are very proud of yourself, and I want to wish you luck in everything that you do in your future. Keep going.
That was really cool.
Dallas Eakins, man, head coach, Anaheim Ducks. He is a big fan of yours. He's also an endurance guy. He's done Leadville 10 times.
Okay, has he really?
Yes.
That's crazy. That might be crazier than playing in the NHL.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts when you realize that you're touching lives outside of just people who are dealing with visual impairment?
It's kind of a little bit mind-blowing. I think I told you that it was right after the event that we went to at the BioSteel All-Star game. We hosted Michigan's first tri-blind hockey event. And just to be out there with those kids to be able to experience their first time on the ice, that was, one of the coolest things that I've ever experienced. And apart from my friends and my family and things like that, I don't really think about this game being that obvious or apparent to people that don't have some sort of direct connection. So to know that it's really growing and grabbing people's attention it's amazing. And I just want us to keep growing the game, keep growing the sport, keep making it, get it to the forefront of news in people's minds, so that we can get those 2 more countries and then continue to grow the game from there, because it really is it's a fantastic game. And the fact that it has shown over the last decade or so to be able to adapt it to anybody's disability really goes to show that hockey is for everybody.
Hockey is for everybody. What do you look at as the best game you've ever had?
That's tough. I was kind of fortunate in my youth to, as far as I know, be one of the only people that's scored multiple game-winning goals to make it to the state tournament. Or the way that Michigan is broken down is broken up into 8 to 10 districts, I want to say. District champions go to the state tournament. So one was when I was 11, scored the game-winning goal against a team that was 45-0-1 coming into that game. And then the next one was my senior year of high school. We won a 1-0 game. It was actually played in the same rink as the first one that we won in. But yeah, that was a really cool experience to finish off the sort of regular season through high school, is to score that game-winning goal. I don't know if those are necessarily my best games, but they were definitely the most memorable.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to go to rapid fire here.
All right.
Best CAF memory?
So far, it's been the All-Star game with you when we did the check and everything like that, and even that initial email and phone call from you were just outstanding.
Love it. Go-to comfort food?
Authentic Mexican tacos, for sure.
Most recent TV show binge?
I'm almost embarrassed to say Tiger King, but I think that was it.
I love Tiger King. We were all in. Favorite book or podcast?
Favorite podcast would probably be Lore. Probably based on content, but Spit and Chicklets is pretty close as a number 2.
Spit and Chicklets, obviously a hockey game.
Right? Absolutely.
I love it. Person you miss seeing the most during this time?
It's the person that I miss seeing most all the time would be my dad. He passed away about 5 years ago. So especially not being able to have him be a part of blind hockey, that hits home pretty much every day.
He was a huge supporter.
Absolutely.
Blind hockey.
Yeah. He and my mom were absolutely my biggest fans as I grew up, and it would have been great to have him around to see me put on that USA jersey for the first time.
Oh, place you can't wait to visit when this is over?
My mom.
Yeah.
She would probably say the exact same thing.
Favorite thing to do with your kids?
Just play with my son. Any sort of game that, picks up his hockey stick and says, "Daddy, let's play hockey." Goes outside, kicks the soccer ball for our dog. Tees up the wiffle balls and everything like that. Just playing and spending time with him.
What words do you love hearing from a coach?
I think mostly just good shift. I don't really.
You're pretty self-motivated.
Yeah, I don't know if I really look for praise, but anytime you just get acknowledged that you did something well, it's always a good feeling.
And what don't you want to hear from a coach? You're out.
I think the worst thing I ever heard from a coach was, "Do you even want to play on the power play?" And when I said yes, he said, "Then you better get moving." And then I didn't hear a word from him the rest of the game.
I love it. Hey, Tim, great to have you part of the CAF family. Very, very excited. Getting that grant, what does that mean to you?
it's tough to put into words, but I think it just means so much to know that there's a foundation out there like CAF that is really helping not just visually impaired people, but anybody with a disability participate in the sport and the activity that they love, and in a lot of cases that they've lost. Hockey is something that has been such a big part of my life, and to be able to have blind hockey come along at the time that it did, it was fantastic. It's something that you don't really realize you don't have until it's not there, and once it comes back, it's it just kind of lights up that part of you that maybe started to fade a little bit. So being awarded this grant just goes to show that there are people out there that care, and it just means so much to me as a participant, knowing that through grants like this, we can continue to grow the game, make it available to more people.
Love it. Hey, Tim, thanks so much for taking time to come on Challenge Athletes Live with us. Always a pleasure to catch up with you, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
Tim Kane has been our guest, everybody. Check us out next time.